The crowd was unable to curb their enthusiasm for Mr. Angle. I'm John Renton with the retro review of WWE Smackdown from July 26, 2001, continuing this trek through the invasion angle that has certainly had its ups and downs, shall we say. Check out my previous retro reviews if you would like to find out more. Would you like to know more? Click. I should retro review Starship Troopers as well, but that's down the road. Yes, this was pretty monumental because it was Kurt Angle basically striking back against the invading force, the WCW-ECW alliance that really honestly needed Stone Cold Steve Austin, a clear-cut WWF, WWE superstar. Sorry, this sweet shirt, WWF is going to be in my blood, even though I love so much goddamn wrestling. It's really impossible not to say WWF even after all these years. It was his way of striking back and bringing the WCW title to the WWF for, I think, about 8 days. I don't think he had it for very long. Anyway, yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hometown of Kurt Angle, and he got a pretty good pop a little bit later. We get Invasion and Raw recaps because this was the SmackDown right after the Invasion pay-per-view. Check out my retro review of that if you would like. The Hardys with Lita versus Kidman and Hurricane Helms. Not Shane Helms, not Sugar Shane Helms. They didn't have the dancers with him. More in the pity because some of them were pretty hot. And, you kind of realized what they were going to do with Shane Helms right near the end of WCW. I retro-reviewed that entire last year, which was a trek. And I'm not talking about Star Trek. I'm talking like a 90-degree uphill trek. But there were some good moments. Anyway, enough of that. So, starting with the match. What year is this? 2001. I just said, God damn it, I've talked to myself about this. I talked to myself a lot, complete with sarcasm. So, good pace, but it was short. There's some nice tag work and twist of fate and a swanton on Helms, 1, 2, 3 in like 4 minutes. And then we get Big Show and Billy backstage. Show says, how about our team name, is the Shoguns? That's a stupid name. And then he says, well, you won't be Rockabilly this or the one Billy Gunn or the one with no talent. And then Big Show is said, well, you won't be this out of shape guy or the big slow and stuff like that. Maybe Shoguns isn't all that bad. This team didn't last very long because I don't remember if they just decided to break it up or if because I know that Billy started teaming with Chuck Palumbo later in the year after the invasion angle had cooled down in the sense that it was completely ice cold by the time we got around to Unforgiven. Seriously, this was such a fucking misfire. God damn it. Anyway, Shane, Heyman, and Stephanie are, out for, to get promos. Stephanie gets a lot of SULT chants. I'm covering my ass on some things because YouTube can be a bit weird when it comes to censorship, but And the talents are introduced, all the champions. Well, Palumbo and O'Hara, the WCW Tag Team Champions. Kidman, the Cruiserweight Champion. RVD, the WWE Hardcore Champion. Lance Storm, the Intercontinental Champion. Booker, the U.S. and World Champion. But Kanyon is brought down to be gifted the U.S. Championship that he loses, I believe, in 7 to 14 days. And then after SummerSlam 2001, he had an injury and he was kicked out and then was brought back as a Boy George impersonator. Because why not make fun of somebody's sexuality and basically bury them for no goddamn reason? Vince McMahon, presumably. I know that was 2003, and I'm not saying that Kanyon could have been a world champion, but fucking hell. That was ridiculous. And Undertaker probably took great delight in beating him up. Anyway, are you telling me the Alliance is just handing out titles like they hand out positions in the South? I mean, he didn't say the South Tower, but JR basically took shots at how everybody gets a job title. Everybody gets this. Oh, you get this. You get to be the department of this. You can tell JR is still a little bit bitter about what happened in WCW, even though he had been in WWF for about 8.5 years by that point. Austin comes out to Alliance applause, and then here's hometown Kurt, and he got a big pop, and he wants Austin tonight. And he wants to bring the WWF title back to, well, the WWF. It'd be hard to bring it back anywhere else, considering it is the WWF championship. That is how these letterings work. If letterings is even appropriate, or even a goddamn word. So anyway, Austin says Angle is selfish, and so is he. We get asshole chance. I'd be happy to face you, but not tonight, since it's your hometown, and also we're trying to build to a pay-per-view. I mean, he didn't say that last part, but he might as well have. How about you face Booker T? And then he says, this guy called you a sucker and put you through a table and all that. And Booker says, you got it. So then Angle says after he beats Booker, Austin is next. Oh, God, Goldberg's here. Wait, not for about another 1.5 years. Regal and Tajiri are talking. Kanyon comes in, wants a rematch with Jericho. Regal says, hey, why don't you put the U.S. title on the line? Oh, no, I won this fair and square. And then he says, well, I'll tell you what. If you can say she sells seashells by the seashore, which was a struggle for me to even say once, if you can say that 10 times, then sure, I won't put the U.S. title on the line. He can't do it, and he says, how about a tag match? How about I team with RVD and it's Jericho and Tajiri? Okay. All right. Just why not? Anyway, Dudleys versus Shoguns. It existed. Billy got targeted, and then we got a miscommunication and a 3D to Billy, 1, 2, 3. Some of these matches just kind of happened. Like, there were some cool moments. Like, the main event was pretty cool, even with all the run-ins. But there were a lot of times where a lot of these matches, since they had so many talents that they had signed, even though a lot were staying home on their AOL Time Warner contracts, smart by them, that was pretty much it. Like, they didn't really... There were some matches where it's like, all right, let's just get them some wins, and none of this shit matters. So we then get recaps of Vince's plea for The Rock to come back and a highlight package of The Rock's career. Pretty glowing package. The Rock's big glowing package. Have fun on seeing that. Booker then is, worried about The Rock. And Austin says, well, hey, who says The Rock's coming back to the WWF? Maybe he'll come to the Alliance. Haha, for raising. DDP then takes on Kane. It was alright. Kane was out for revenge after DDP pulled Sarah in front of Undertaker's chair shot. And I wonder if Undertaker was still ragdolling her like crazy and refusing to give her medical assistance. Seriously, that's what Lex Luger did with Liz. Undertaker, for all his faults, is not Lex Luger. He hasn't led to the death of his wife. Well, and thankfully, hopefully, fucking won't. But anyway, yeah, I fucking hate Lex Luger for that shit. Listen to the 911 call. Seriously, it's fucking ridiculous. So, Kane ends up using a chair after he gloms DDP for a while. DDP brought a chair and Kane says, okay, hits him. Nick Patrick DQs him. He hits DDP with the chair and then chokeslams Nick Patrick. Because why the hell not? Well, actually, DDP hit him with the chair and then Kane sat up saying, I'm going to no-sell this, and then chokeslams Nick Patrick. A lot of shit just happened just for no reason. DDP was completely 100%, 1,000% buried in this alliance. It was ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. So then, basically, we cut to Saturn being happy with Moppy. And Lance says, what you do with your mop is your business. And why that made me laugh, I don't know. But Lance just had deadpan humor. And then Saturn, he says, do you understand me? And I believe Saturn said, underwear is funderwear. He's like, and Storm's like, I'll take that as a yes. Again, deadpan humor. Edge and Christian want to talk to Kurt, but they talk to Taz. Sitting down, he's the same height sitting up. Say something funny. They mock his whole thing, thug life and all that. Mourn, thug life bread, thug life dead and all that. Beat me if you can't survive. I'll let you all that. And Taz like, haha, and then he stops laughing. Then Canyon and RVD took on Jericho and Tajiri. RVD chants, duh, because RVD was really over. Even when they tried to make him a heel, he was still over with the crowd. The crowd popped for RVD and Jericho tangling, and later, while Tajiri had RVD in the Tarantula, Canyon ends up hitting Tajiri with the U.S. Championship, and 5-star frog splash on Tajiri, 1, 2, 3. And then Perry's looking for Moppy. Terry says, me or the mop? Terry chooses the mop and says, you're welcome. Man, they hated the fact that Saturn beat up that jobber. I'm not saying he should have taken liberties with him, but good lord, the mop, that's the best thing. And she calls him an idiot. To be fair, they portrayed him as an idiot. Saturn versus Storm. It wasn't, the mop shit kind of ruined it. It just fucking did. The action was alright. The moss-covered family three-handed credunza. Or three-headed credunza. Handed, I don't goddamn know. But, Jericho shouted that out and then insulted everybody and came back with more moves. Oh no, my holds! And Moppy, oh no, he's chanting for Mop. Like, Moppy is going to help him. Like, the Mop's going to gain sentience. Storm tries to break the Mop, wipes it on his ass. And Saturn gets upset, hits him with the Mop, causes a DQ, assaults Storm with the Mop. So, great job making your new Intercontinental Champion seem viable. So, Shane has a tape of what Vince did to The Rock. He's going to show it later. Steph says, I love my brother. And Heyman says, I hate your father. Again, some good comedic stuff here. Shane then shows a tape of Vince screwing The Rock repeatedly. Screwing Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson. I almost got that correct the second time. And then Shane says, you should join the Alliance. We need a big Johnson in the Alliance. I'm done with the Johnson jokes until the next review. Shane says that, and then Booker is getting fired up by Austin, says you got to keep the gold, all that. We get Ned and Christian versus Taz and Rhino. Sponsored by Corn Nuts and RC Cola. Remember RC Cola? Does that still exist anywhere? So, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of like that same other tag match, and also Taz was diminished at this point because he was having his neck problems and he would retire soon after. Like 9 months after this. So, Gore to Christian, but then Spear to Rhino, and Christian had fallen on Taz, who was in the Taz mission, and there you go. That's pretty much it. Way to basically, just destroy Taz right there. Tough Enough clips, where some guy got a pink slip or a red tag, and I don't remember much about the original Tough Enough, except Maven's eyebrows, co-starring Maven, and Nydia won it, and Nydia deserved better, and hopefully Maven's doing alright. Recaps of what led to the main event. And then we get Booker versus Angle, WCW title match. Crowd pop big for Angle. Big fight feel. Angle jump start at first. There was some good stuff. We get announcer table spots. Not a DQ, but was a DQ at WrestleMania Backlash. Or was it the other pay-per-view? I don't remember. They all fucking blend together now. And we get a missed moonsault. Booker takes over. Kurt missed that moonsault more than he hit it. No wonder he couldn't walk by the time it was like 2011. And he kept fucking wrestling. So anyway, Booker takes over for a bit. Angle fires up. It's a nice belly-to-belly for 2. Then the Alliance and the WWF roster and everybody concessionaires. Some fans dressed up as wrestlers run down. Like 9 million people run down. It's like that Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door thing where everybody gloms and does all that stuff and everything. Or like the Shy Guy stuff in Paper Mario 64. I like doing those game streams. That was fun. Maybe sometime in the future I can do more streams. Probably not till sometime next year. But we will see. So, everybody's down there, and then the referee's distracted. Canyon hits Angle with a chair that he sells like he was shot. And Booker covers for 2, gets another near fall a little bit later. Kurt roars back. Second ref bump. Earl Hebner took a lot of bumps during this invasion angle. Angle slam, ankle lock. Austin runs down, stunner to Angle. And he leaves. But then, suddenly, Angle somehow gets Booker in the ankle lock. And Booker can't even reach the ropes even though he's not that far away. And tap out, and Austin's shocked. Big pop for Angle, becoming the new WCW champion, even though he would only hold it from that point, I think, until the following Smackdown. I can't remember if it's the following Smackdown or... No. It was either following Smackdown. I know he lost it before SummerSlam because he would face Austin for the championship. And Booker would regain the title and face The Rock for the WCW title. And they would start passing around titles like a joy at a college party. Or like some of my exes at a college party. That was needlessly mean. This show was fine. It was fine. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.